My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek being held virtually this year. Joining me right now is Scott Trebilcock. He is the president and CEO of Core Mining. That's K-O-R-E Mining. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you, K-O-R-E on the TSX Venture and K-O-R-E-F on the OTCQX. Scott, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
Hey, awesome, Robert. How are you?
No complaints, you know?
Yeah, I love your background. We all wish we were there.
That's for sure. I mean, I might go virtual mountain biking later. We never know.
On your Peloton,
My Peloton. Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, let's dig in a little bit. Pun completely intended. Let's get a quick overview and history of Core, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, great. So, Core is about a 2-year-old company. The company was formed privately, put together a great portfolio of gold assets in North America. So we're in British Columbia and California. The assets all have ounces in the ground. They've all got great exploration potential. We capitalized the company really around the Precious Metals Summit last year with a first investment from Eric Sprott, unlike, very similar to many. Followed that up with 2 more investments with Eric through the course of 2020 as we started to work our assets and get some news out there. Eric's now put $12 million into the company, owns 26%. Management's still sitting at 32%. So we're still a very young equity with a tight cap structure, but we're just getting Core's name out there. We've got some great assets, and if this gold market keeps evolving, hopefully we can generate some great value.
Absolutely. So let's dig into some of the projects themselves. You talk about having a project in California. I'm a California resident. I think we can all agree that traditionally it's been a very difficult, well, not in the 1800s, but current day, it's traditionally been a little difficult to do some exploration and get some mining projects underway. So what would you say makes your company unique and different compared to some of the other firms out there that either have active programs or are looking to do active programs in California and some of your other jurisdictions?
Yeah. Well, I think history is an important thing, in our projects as well. And I think that history in this case plays in our favor. So history is that Glamis worked this asset in the 90s, did a ton of great technical work. The project is a very dead simple run-of-mine heap leach. And California has, earned its reputation you talk about from giving miners a hard time by passing layers and layers and layers of regulation that at low gold prices, effectively in the 2000s rendered open pit gold mining uneconomic in the state because they required backfilling. Well, the good news is backfilling is simply an economic outcome, and you can make, NGOs, I think, not pay a lot of attention to your project if you say that you're going to leave the site that you disturbed in a fully greenfield state when you're gone, i.e. you're back, mine's going to be backfilled. It's going to look just like the desert was before we got there. And I think that's a great standard to live to. And at $1,100 or higher gold, we can afford to do that because backfilling is just simply economics. It's not social license. And our project is located right next to an operating gold mine in California. Most people don't realize there are actually 3 large open pit gold mines operating in California today. So it's all about location, location, location. Right? California is, as big as British Columbia. It's a massive area, and it all depends where you are. There's lots of places in California I wouldn't want to touch mining with a 1,000-foot pole. Ours, great place.
Got it. All right. So what's your background? I mean, what brought you into Core Mining and starting this company?
Yeah, I'm an engineer, but I spent 10 years building up a company called Nevsun Resources. We successfully sold that company at the end of that run to the Chinese for 1.8 billion Canadian or something. And, I wanted exposure. That was a base metals company when it ended a couple of years ago. I think now is the time for precious metals with everything we see in the world with volatility and quantitative easing and low interest rates and negative real yields. You want to be in precious metals, a great time to build a precious metal company. And Core had advanced enough assets that a non-geo like myself is not just overhead, because we've got a real team and real projects to do work, and I wanted to get exposure to that. I'm an owner of the company, and I'm proud to sit side by side with shareholders to try and generate a ton of wealth in a good gold market.
And from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of Core's value catalysts now for the rest of this year going into 2021?
Yeah, great question. So we closed our most recent $7.5 million investment from Eric Sprott in about 8 weeks ago now. We're using that money. We have a drill active in British Columbia currently. Our summer program should start yielding news releases in early October. The labs are getting pretty busy these days, so kind of hedging our bet, saying that's when the labs will deliver. Just announced we're doing a preliminary economic assessment of an asset in California called Long Valley. And then in parallel with that, we also are going to go out and drill our Imperial flagship asset also in California on the back of a PEA we did earlier this year. So we are aggressively spending the money on the balance sheet, hopefully to the benefit of shareholders. And we've got a lot going on in 2020.
With that, where can my audience go and find everything they need to know about Core Mining?
Coremining.com is the place to be, or come see us at the Precious Metal Summit.
Perfect. All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Great. Thanks, Robert. Great to be here.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek being held virtually this year. Scott will be there presenting Core Mining, and thank you all for listening today.